Welcome back to another daily reading. Today I'm going to be reading a short excerpt from Dream, Clarify and Create What You Want by Marcia Wieder. And here we go. So I randomly opened up to chapter 4, first page. And if you have this book, it's page 87. And chapter 4 is titled, Imagine Your Possibilities. And then there's a quote from Hawaiian Airlines, a Hawaiian Airlines billboard that says, make your dreams jealous. Here we go. Now that you've discovered the passion underlying your purpose, you are ready to begin to focus on the direction in which your life will be moving. In this chapter, you get to play with your dreams as if you truly believe it's possible to have what you desire. Have all the goals in your life align. Live a life you love. Have the time to enjoy it and start right now. Check in with yourself. Does this sound enticing or frightening? I am talking about being open to a world of possibilities. Having possibility in your life requires that you seize every opportunity to speak the words, "It is possible," and believe them. Unfortunately, most of us have been trained to believe the things we want are not possible. To change, that takes retraining. Why does that sound awkward? Okay, I'm going to read that again. I read this earlier. Hold on. Unfortunately, most of us have been trained to believe the things we want are not possible. To change, that takes retraining. You can learn to hear yourself and educate those around you to hear the possibility in what you say, instead of asking, have you gone mad? The first step is allowing yourself to explore the full spectrum of dreams you could pursue. I love this. Have you ever wanted something that just made your heart sing and you had other people around you saying something essentially like what she just wrote? Have you gone mad? Right? And you're like, what are you talking about? Like, or maybe it sounds crazy. I have found it really takes a very strong commitment to what it is you desire, what it is that you feel you cannot live without. Like, if you know there's something that you are so passionate about and you've thought about doing, and if you would be okay living out the rest of your life without ever doing it, then okay, you could always, it's going to be a little easier to say, okay, you know what? It's okay. I don't really need to do this. But if you're thinking about those things that you just like, I absolutely have to do this, and it's essentially a deal breaker. Like, that you could not get to the end of your life and be satisfied if you never did that thing. If you never, took a leap of faith, if you never mustered up the courage to do the other things, they're going to help set you up so that you can actually do the one thing you want to do. Then those are the things you got to do. Those are the things you got to do. And so, what Marcia's talking about is she's talking about, what up until, prior to chapter 4 in this book, she had spent time helping people get clear on, what is it that you actually like to do? What are your passions? And so she's helping you get clarity on what it is you even want, so that you now know like what you want to take action on and move towards, allowing yourself to believe that your dream is possible. I mean, think about it. If Oprah did not allow herself to think it was possible to, I don't know all of Oprah's life story, but I know enough to know that she struggled. She went through a lot. Like, she could have easily said, who's going to want to be interviewed by me? Who's going to want to be, on a show that I'm leading, right? Like, who's going to want to listen to a show that I'm hosting? She could have easily said no to doing more, but she didn't. She didn't. She said yes. She continued to follow that trail and allow herself to dream big. Have you ever heard the story of how she landed the role in the movie The Color Purple? I don't remember the exact story right now, but I know it's a very law of attraction oriented story where it was like, it didn't seem like it was going to be possible or ever happen, but she had put this thing out there like, gosh, I'd love to be in a movie or something. Gosh, you know what? I don't remember the details. I just remember like it having this really cool twist to it. So if you're looking for some inspiration, totally look that up. Look up Oprah's story about landing the role in the movie The Color Purple, because I think that was, I don't know if she already had a talk show before that, or she may have. It was like right around that time, I guess. Anyway, that's why the person who has to be the most passionate about your dreams, first and foremost, has to be you. Has to be. If you aren't that deeply committed and passionate to your dreams, then why would anyone else be, right? Everyone else has their own life to live, their own dreams to pursue, if they're going to pursue them or not. And those people who don't pursue them, who choose not to pursue them, then those people are even more so likely probably not going to support you in pursuing yours. So that's really good to know and just have a heads up about, right? It's okay. People do not, you even, like no one has to pursue their passion, has to pursue their dreams. That is not something you have to do. And yet, if you have that calling within you, that deep, passionate drive, that there's something you have to move towards, even if you don't have total clarity, but there's something there and you have a vague vision of it, right? Then that's massive information for you. It's imperative that you do believe in it then, because think about this, if you've got this major passion and drive, but then it's coupled with a belief that what you want isn't possible, that's like a barrier, right? And that this is so this is like pulsating, right? Like a heartbeat, like you have to do this. I hope you can relate. I'm speaking from my own personal experience. So if you've got that, something that is so big, ultimately, at some point then you're going to reach a state where it doesn't matter that you have this belief that says, that somehow tells you it can't happen. You're going to eventually realize, you got to bust through that belief. It doesn't matter if it seems impossible. You are going to bust through and you're going to find a way to make it happen. Or do your best. Do your best, right? And when there's something that you're so passionate about, you've got the determination and the will and the tenacity and the drive and everything to just keep going. It's not about not knowing how at the beginning. Nobody knows how at the beginning. You just have to continue to follow that energy of what is that thing that's pulsing within you that says, oh, I have to do this. Okay, and right now I'm just going to say we're talking about all things legal. Okay, we're talking about all things legal. So make sure that you are believing in your own dream first and foremost. And I just, thinking back to yesterday's reading too, when I was reading from Dr. Wayne Dyer's book, and he was talking about the word silent and how we can come out of that. And, we have listen, right? Listen to what that inner calling is, what that inner energy, that pulsating energy wanting to move you towards your dreams is. And how when we take silence, we can also flip all those letters and get license. And I was just thinking how, that dream within you gives you a license to believe in something that may seem impossible. So this may be like someone's quote. I don't know whose it is, but there's a quote out there that's something about, like you wouldn't have. So I don't know if this is someone quote or not. I'm just going to talk about it. You wouldn't have that strong of a desire, or, that vision that keeps coming to you, like, gosh, wouldn't it be nice to, whatever it is, whatever your thing is, right? You wouldn't have that if there wasn't something else there, like behind it for you to follow. The thing is, though, you will never know what's behind it, what's there, I mean, maybe some people have passions and dreams about things that they already know that they are capable of doing. And I've learned some people have passions and dreams about things that they've never even experimented with themselves. So it seems like it doesn't make sense. For those people, it will never make sense until you take at least one step in that direction and experiment with it, and then take another step and experiment with it. Allow yourself to step into that realm. It's okay if you've, let's just an example of, say, an artist, someone who wants to paint, but maybe you've never painted in your life. Well, then get some paints and get some paper or a canvas, or, get creative. Maybe you paint on jeans. Maybe you paint on, the walls in your home. Maybe maybe you paint on flower petals or something. Allow yourself to get creative. Maybe you don't have any brushes, use your finger, right? Find something that's color. What about some vegetables, right? There's some really pigmented vegetables that are fantastic colors. What if you use beet juice? Beet juice, that will stain you. That could stain your fingers even, kind of. And kind of have like a water painting on a sheet of paper, and use your finger to paint with it. I'm just saying, it's okay. Get creative. Allow yourself to think outside the box, because those actions are going to help you gain more of that clarity that you're wanting. Maybe you're like, this sounds really interesting, but I don't know if I want to make a life out of it. That's okay. It's okay if you don't know that you want to make a life out of it. Just have fun with it. Just let it be something new that you're trying then and experimenting with. And maybe you'll decide, gosh, I love this, and wow, I'm actually good at it. Or maybe you don't say that you're good at it yet, but you are liking it. That's enough to keep experimenting with it and going with it. If it's something that brings you joy and fuels you up, that's absolutely worth pursuing and doing something, even if it's just for your sheer joy. This is your life. You have every license to dream and do the things that light your soul up. These videos, we're close to a whole 30 days, a whole month filled of videos. And this is something I've thought about doing for a while now, but I also thought it seemed kind of cheesy. Here's the thing. I love them. I love them. I love them. So, and we're not even done yet. I'm still going to pull some cards here in a bit. So if you happen to be watching me, if I don't, because it doesn't show me that you're here right now, but if you happen to be here watching me, feel free to say hello, type down in the comments if this is resonating with you. And if you want me to pull you a card in a little bit, then I will. But something that, I just have had this idea for a while. Gosh, I'd love to do these videos where I read an excerpt from a book and I, pull some cards, and I was like, that sounds kind of cheesy. Like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't do that. No, are people really going to like that? And there've been many days where there's nobody here watching live, but I love this so much. Even just expressing it to you right now, it's building up in me even more and more. And that's the whole thing behind, if you have a passion and a dream, the more attention and focus you place in that direction, do something about it. Maybe it's even just, maybe the next step is to have a conversation with a trusted friend. a trusted friend, and, share with them what's in your heart. What lights you up? What are you thinking about? Or maybe journal about this idea that you have and see what else might come through. Because anything we place more attention and focus on is going to build momentum. And so that's the whole thing. It starts out as, chapter 4 is called Imagine Your Possibilities. It starts out as a possibility that you have the ability to imagine. And first, just visualize and dream up in your head. And then as you place more and more attention on it, let's now take it out of your head and put it on paper. And now we've got some really good ideas here. Well, let's maybe research one of these ideas, or is there already an action step that's formed? And maybe I could take this one little action step on this, one idea that I've written down now. Like, everything is solidifying it into more and more reality. So it's not about whether anybody else chooses to imagine the possibilities about your dream. It's simply about you imagining the possibilities for your dream, about what lights you up. And so I just wanted to get back to, these videos. I kind of was like, oh, I don't know. And then, I don't know, something in me just finally said, yeah, right. I've had this idea for a while now, and our ideas mean something. And what comes out of an idea may be what you expect, or it may be something completely different. But you will never know unless you try. And I'm not opposed to that word. I know some people say, oh, don't say the word try. You know what? That's the starting place. So if you're feeling stuck, your starting place is to try. Put one foot in front of the other. And I am absolutely loving these videos. Whether anybody watches or not, they light me up. And they have given back to me in ways that I'm incredibly grateful for. And I absolutely love it when someone is here watching, whether live or even on the replay. It's been wonderful. And I have received some positive feedback. So I actually, I'm going to do more of this. It may not be, a whole nother month's worth at a time or whatever, but there'll be more for sure. I've done these a little bit on Facebook as well. If if you'd like to connect with me beyond here, you can certainly connect with me over on Facebook at the Every Day is a New Day group, and just request to join, and I'd love to bring you in. You can also go to KimO'NeillCoaching.com and check out some of the services that I provide. But let's go ahead and move into card pulling. Some people call it throwing cards. I call it pulling cards. Let's see here. I'm going to first pull a card from the Psychic Tarot deck. And let's see what other message wants to come through from today's reading. And if you notice, I'm sitting in a place that's a little better for the cards to actually land where I can catch them. Knock on wood. Please help them to still land where I can catch them. Okay, I'm going to move this book over to the side. Do a little shuffle here. Let me know if you are here and would like me to pull a card for you. Okay, what message wants to come through for everybody who views today's video? Ooh, okay. We're going to see if a few cards come out from this deck. Oh, okay, we got two. I don't know if this one is or not, so I don't think so. Oh, gee whiz, two more fell. Okay, those will be our cards from this deck. So the very first card, let's see. Ooh, triumphant success. Nice. The second card that came out, firm foundation. And then two other cards that just fell down. Ooh, So authority. And emotional loss. Okay. Okay, so I see different things here with this card layout based on our conversation that we just had. So I'm just going to start with the first one. You are destined to become oh, I got to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay. You are destined to become a success simply by moving in the direction of what lights you up. So does that necessarily mean, let's use the artist analogy. Does that necessarily mean that, say you start to paint, and then does that mean like your paintings are going to sell and be world famous? They might, they may not. Either way, you will have triumphant success because you have taken action on that, on what lights you up, on your dream. You will be successful, because if it's not that the art becomes, famous or popular or whatever, what about just your own sheer joy? I mean, that's huge. If you're not already placing value on that, then that's a message for you right now that that's something to place value on, because everything comes from what kind of foundation do you have within you to begin with. And so it is enough to have a strong desire to pursue something that lights you up. And the more you take action on it, you will be building your firm foundation even more and more and more. It's going to become more and more solid, right? Just anything you start to, you don't graduate high school when you're 5 years old, right? But you are becoming successful because you chose to start kindergarten at 5 years old, or whatever age you started at. And with every grade you complete, you're building your foundation. You are becoming a success. You are learning things more than math and reading. You're learning how to, you're learning how to be quiet while the teacher speaks. You're learning how to make friends with your classmates. You're learning how to, be polite and kind to other people in your class that maybe you don't really like or agree with, but you can tolerate them. You're learning how to be civil, right? We learned so much more than just academics at school. And so same goes for whatever dream you want to pursue. The more you take action on it, you're developing that firm foundation, and eventually you're going to be at the top of the mountain. And I know how much there can be that desire to want to be at the top of the mountain already. I totally get you on that. And yet, when there's something that you're passionate about, you do yourself a service by really embracing that it's going to have to be a journey. And allowing yourself to find the joy and satisfaction within that first step. And then the second step and the third step. And there might even be times where it's like, it doesn't feel like you're going from step 1 to step 2. Maybe you're going from step 1 to 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. It's okay. 1.3 is further along than 0, than doing nothing, than still being at the starting line, or still being behind the starting line, still being in the bleachers. You're not even saying yes to being at the starting line, right? Every little bit counts. So definitely give yourself credit for that. Yeah, okay, we're going to go back to this too. With every step you take, you are gaining more of that clarity. And see how it's cutting through the air? The air is, if you're familiar with tarot at all, then the air is or just even astrological signs. The air is representative of, it's the mind, it's thinking, it's your thoughts. And the swords are also a way that represent that. And so the more action you take, right? Even think about this hand. This hand had to muster up the strength to come out of the earth. My goodness, right? Come through the earth and take its sword and cut through that part of a mindset that was saying, I don't know that you can do this. It might not be worth anything. Why bother? No, come on, you can't do it. It's cutting through all that darkness and gaining clarity. Clearer skies await you when you choose to say yes to your dreams. Even just saying yes to your dreams. Like, that's huge. Huge. You've just developed new courage. And the more that you take action, develop your foundation, you develop a sense of authority over what it is that you do, over what it is that your dream is that you've taken action on. It can be anything. Maybe it's the actual, maybe it's the actual thing that you're, so maybe it's the art itself, or maybe it's the act of becoming an entrepreneur. Maybe it's learning how to be an art dealer. We could look at it so many different ways. Anytime you spend more time practicing something, learning about something, saying yes to something, you are developing a form of expertise and becoming an authority on that subject or on how to do something like that. And before I get to the last card, I want to just also point out that these cards, so these 3 cards, the numbers at the top are 441. And if you look up angel numbers, and there's different dictionaries, so to speak, on angel numbers, but I'm going to go by the one that I'm familiar with, and that is Doreen Virtue's. And 441, so 4s are about stability, 4s are about the angels, and 444 is the angels are surrounding you. So I'm trying to share with you here that you've got support. You have support. And 4s and 1s together, I'm going off of memory, 4s and 1s together are something about, your, it's like specifically about, I believe it's actually make a wish. Like, there's a snapshot being taken of your thoughts, which is typically 111. But when you pair 1 with 4, it's make a wish, because you've got the support of the angels. You've got otherworldly support. You've got the support of God, of the universe, of your ancestors, of your spirit guides, however you want to phrase it. We could also say that, I said before that if you have that dream, that calling within you, you could also say that, so I was saying, if you have that within you, it's for a reason. There's something there to explore. Could also be because those on the other side know there's more to it. And so it's already saying right off the bat, 144, you are supported. Like, it's known that there's something else there for you to explore, but it's going to be up to you in your human body, right? We've got all these other things taking place in our ego, our doubts, and all these things that could get in the way. And so it's up to us to learn how to trust that, to trust those feelings and those desires to move forward, those dreams, those inner callings. Okay, and I want to move to the last card now. So the last one is emotional loss. I see a couple of things here, actually. So I first see, so the cards don't always, wow, I'm going long with this. Look at that. The cards don't always necessarily mean what's at the bottom, but I see two different meanings here. So first it could mean that to say yes to what you desire may require you to say no to something else. And it could be a form of, saying goodbye to the old, maybe the previous version of you that was not willing to say yes to your dreams. And so maybe there's a form of you that's grieving. Whew, you are in a transitional state. You are transforming. You are the caterpillar blossoming into the butterfly, or you're deciding to crawl on up into that chrysalis so that you can be rebirthed. And and there's also a whole thing, and this is very common, very, very common, that not everyone in your life is going to support your dreams. But again, it's not up to them to support your dreams. And I know how sad and disappointing that can be. But you have to remember that this is your life and those are your dreams. And so what do you desire more? To allow people who don't believe in your dreams to have their beliefs take precedence over what you decide to say yes to in your life? Or to allow you to say yes to your dreams? Because at the end of your life, you're the only one that's actually going to be there. And although it's upsetting that other people may not, it may be that they don't believe in you. They can't seem to grasp the same vision that you have for yourself, whatever it may be. They may at some point come around and go, oh my gosh, look at what you did. Look what you accomplished. And they may not. That's the other thing. They may not. So there may be some level of emotional loss and just, realizing you're in this space. And there may be a form of going it alone. And what I've learned is that's part of a lot of people's journeys. Not everyone's, but a lot of people's journeys, when they decide to say yes to something that is just this deep calling within them, they're so passionate about. And so it really helps to connect with other like-minded people who can become part of that new support system, that new family for you that you are, that's going to be able to support you on your journey. And then a form of, accepting that, okay, like this next phase of your life is going to look a little different. And it's okay if you have to grieve it and just, realize that, wow, okay, things are going to shift and change in your life. You don't necessarily have to say goodbye to those other people. And then again, you might, depends on what your circumstances are. But okay, that's the first meaning that I saw out of this. The second meaning that I'm getting out of this is, see this person, he's got his hands on his heart or on his chest. It looks like his heart to me though. And see that light that is emanating. That is like your burning passion within you, your burning desire to pursue your dreams. It's this light. And, oh man, I'm seeing another meaning even. When we're covering it up, that is also a form of emotional loss. Because when we know that we are the only ones that's ultimately holding ourselves back, oh, that's painful. That is painful. And so all it takes is that first step. Okay, I'm gonna take my hand off. I'm gonna surrender some of this. I'm gonna surrender. Okay, show me my next step. And so we get to be our own hero. We get to be our own superhero and say yes to our dreams first. And at the same time, just like I was talking earlier, right? You take that first step and then the second step and the third step and the fourth step and you keep going. It's like that spiral. And the more and more you go, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And your light ends up emanating outward more and more as you have allowed it to be shown. So that's how I see this. And let's just end. We'll end with the Power Thought card. That was plenty right there with those 4 cards, wasn't it? We'll end with a Power Thought card. Yeah. Let's see. Just do some light shuffling here. A little more light shuffling. Okay. Okay. What message wants to come through for everybody who views today's video? Oh, okay. 2 already popped out. Okay, the first one. I am willing to change. Oh, look, that's a butterfly. There's no back to these cards, but how perfect. I am willing to change. That's essentially what, what's required of us when we choose to say yes to something that we don't know how it's going to unfold. We just know there's something there, and we're not willing to give up on it. The other card, you'll have to tell me if this resonates with you. There is no blame. So does this fit into your scenario in some way? There is no blame. Just like I was talking earlier about, really the only one that needs to believe in your dreams is you, right? So it's not, so if other people don't, they don't have to. And maybe their, lack of belief in you and your dreams and whatever, and possibilities, all of that, maybe, and I say maybe, but I actually mean very likely. Just think about that. Let's say you pursue your dreams and you were dealing with people that didn't believe in you whatsoever, but you kept going. Think of how much courage and strength and strong of a foundation you will have developed because you are onto something. You're onto something really, really big, like that mountain. And all that's necessary is for you to say yes to it. And I just also want to say, there are times when we say yes to something and then the dream evolves over time. Maybe it starts to look like something else. That's okay. It's okay. So I'm not saying or encouraging, stay committed at all costs to something that isn't working. Like, one of the key things that you learn as you pursue your dreams is also, how to listen to that energy within you, listening to your intuition, listening to what your emotions are telling you. And so there might be some detours and different paths to go down. That's okay. And it's also, I'm going to say it's also perfectly fine if you pursued something and you truly believe you've come to the end of the road. And now it's time to, okay, call it quits, throw in the towel, or, say it's a wrap. Maybe you followed something as far as it was supposed to go. And now it's time to move on to something else. That does not mean you were a failure. You gained a lot from your time in that endeavor. So I absolutely want to encourage you, make sure that you are taking time to look at what you're learning in your journey. Maybe things that you never anticipated, that you didn't see as part of what this path is going to lead you down, but nevertheless gave you massive life lessons that are that's huge, because that's going to support you in, future relationships that you're building and your current relationships that you're in. And we do not stay stagnant in life. And if we do, unwanted new, problems and issues can arise from that. So there are going to be many times where you are a beginner of some kind. And what better way to be a beginner at something you love, something that is exciting to you, versus something that is, some sort of limiting belief, or, just something that is not fulfilling you. Okay, so this video went really long, but I hope you have enjoyed it. Please let me know what you're taking away from this video. And if you enjoyed it, please do go ahead and click the thumbs up button. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, because that does help me. And it also helps YouTube to know that you enjoyed this and helps other people find the video. So with that said, there are some links down below in the description of this video if you'd like to connect with me beyond YouTube, and I would certainly welcome that and look forward to it. If you're looking to move through your limiting beliefs or anything like that, if you've been interested in coaching, definitely check out my website, KimO'NeillCoaching.com, KIMONEILL coaching.com, and reach out to me, even if you're just, like, Kim, I'm not sure. Can we talk a little more about it? I absolutely welcome conversations like that. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.